Oh my God, we do have stuff to talk about. Ready?
Yeah.
Can't believe we didn't talk about it already. Oh my God. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 627.
Oh my God.
We're getting to the end of August. Getting to the end of August already. Like, what the hell is happening? It's so fast. Everything's going so fast. All week.
God, I hate it.
All week I thought I was a day behind.
So seriously, it's only 7 months to my birthday again. I just did the math. So I've been lying to people when I say, oh, I just turned 50. They're like, you fucking liar. You turned 50 in February. It's freaking August.
Oh, no.
You're getting ready to turn 51, dummy. I'm like,
it's going it goes so fast, everybody.
It goes faster and faster. It's so, God, it's bullshit.
So here's the thing. There's a thing going on now, and it's really Gen X, and I guess apparently elder millennials, whatever we are. We're Gen Xers, in my opinion. We're the neglected small group of adults who were left to our own devices as children. We grew up, when we were 13, we were really 30. I mean, nobody anymore gets a job at 15 and a half. No one is walking everywhere in the night.
They should, but okay.
Well, it's not safe.
No, not walking in the middle of the night. The job.
We had no cell phones. So our parents had no clue where we were, what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I think of some of this stuff, and I was not nearly as bad as some people. I wasn't drunk in a field at 16.
I was.
Right. I wasn't, but I also had mom's car, and I was drag racing at 16.
Oh my God.
On Oak Avenue.
In her Honda?
At night. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Very dangerous, but I loved it.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, I did it. I loved it. It was great.
Oh my God.
Anyway, if she knew, can you imagine if I told her
she
that?
She probably would be like, it was always funny to me how I thought I had all these secrets. And then when I got older and I actually, the few times that I actually spoke to our father, he knew about almost all of it.
He's like, you guys are so dumb. We knew everything. And I'm like, so you just chose your battles? I think Dad, because he was such a goddamn criminal, he was like, I'm so proud of you.
I think he was too.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are
But he couldn't tell us because then we would be worse.
Well, I mean, he can't really
endorse.
He doesn't want to mold and create little criminals.
Well, I know, but
we could have taken over the world.
I'm telling you.
We could have been the greatest crime syndicate of Orangevale.
God, I thought he didn't know about me stealing his little
Oh my
pickup.
God, Stephanie, you were so good too.
Well, I used to talk to Mark the
Anybody
the
else,
ground.
any other parent, you would have easily gotten away with it.
He did say that there was a couple times where he was trying to figure out how I did it and how it was like, how did she get it to the exact, I go, well, I used to put chalk on the sidewalk.
Yes.
So when I pulled it back in, it was at the exact place that you had it.
Because he was using markers going, okay, so
I don't know if he was.
Well, he's probably thinking like, okay, if the tire aligns with this post, I know it's not moved. And
well, it was in front of his house.
I know.
So he used to park it on the street in that.
But there might have been some kind of rock
somehow,
or
some way. I don't know. But he said
he would use it as a mark.
figured it out. But he said he was like, I was like, wow, impressive. She actually used chalk.
That's really good.
I'm like, damn.
You're like, shit, I forgot to rinse it.
He's like, I knew you were doing it because you wrecked it. He's like, and I could not for the life of me figure out what you did. And I was like, well, so I finally
7-11.
confessed. Yeah, I finally confessed. And he's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, what
and of all the things,
I'm like, and you weren't mad and you didn't confront me and beat the shit out of me like everything else?
Yeah, this was the one thing that you're like, nice job.
Yeah, I would have been nice to know. Like,
God.
Damn.
So if I was just committing grand theft larceny, you would have left me alone?
No, he knew. Apparently, he also knew because Dad was never really much of a drinker.
No, not at all.
But he had alcohol in the house. I just think he didn't,
He drank beer occasionally.
Once in a while.
Yeah,
it was usually when we were at the races and other people were drinking beer. But for the most part, Dad was not a drinker.
No.
So I would drink his alcohol that he had in his house and replace it with water because every stupid ass kid on the planet does that. But it was whiskey. So it was like, and I was putting water in it.
Dumb.
So it went from amber. I know, I was dumb. I went from amber to
vodka
eventually.
Actually, that
but he never said anything.
It's so funny that happened in this house.
With one of your kids?
Yeah, well, it was gin or vodka. And it must have been vodka. It must have been vodka because none of our kids like gin at all.
Ugh, I don't like it either. It's gross.
And so I remember I was making something. I'm all, this doesn't taste like anything. And I was like, I don't understand. And then I said, I know what I'll do. I put it in the freezer and it froze.
It froze.
Solid. And I went, oh, okay. I'm like, all my Tito's.
Oldest trick in the book.
All my Tito's are gone. Great.
Yeah.
Fully full of water.
Yeah, well, all children do this. I think I thought at the time.
I actually laughed. I thought it was funny.
Dad did say that the alcohol thing, it took him a long time.
Yeah, because you didn't drink it.
Because he never drank. And I think I was relying on that. I'm like, Dad never drinks.
No,
like, he just
except
doesn't.
the problem was, he's like, that whiskey is really light.
At some point in time, he must have, I think it was, they had friends over or something. It was probably the only time he whipped it out.
And he's like, sorry, guys, you want some water?
He's like, I have teenagers.
It's so funny.
I mean, I was 14, so you were like 16.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of alcohol, I was on TikTok this morning and I saw this guy and he said, apparently if you use a frother in alcohol, it makes it not bitter. And I was like, what? And he took some tequila that he really likes. And so he drank it straight. It's a lovely high-end tequila. He goes, and then he took one of those milk frothers that you get. They're like,
are they like the little battery
blenders?
operator? Like,
yes. And they have a little circle.
Spin, yeah,
that's a frother for cappuccinos.
Right.
So he puts it in the tequila. And first of all, it turned it like super light colored because it's got air and it's frothy.
It's aerating it.
It's aerated.
That makes sense.
And he drinks, he goes, oh my God, like you can taste fruit. So now because for me, especially when I'm doing a tasting of any hard alcohol, I have to get past the burning and the bitter. But if I were to taste something and I tasted what it was, the barrel and all of that stuff, I'm wondering if it would be better. So now I'm going to try it.
Well, you must. Actually, we should try it on the next show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. And we'll do
froth a couple different boozes.
Right, yeah. And we'll do a before and after.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds super fun.
That'll be fun.
And you hate whiskey. I wonder if you, I
would try it. I will drink it, but I'm not going to drink whiskey all afternoon on a Sunday.
No. I would never.
Daryl would.
We'll do tequila and rum and a whiskey.
That wasn't a slight, Daryl. I'm just saying.
No, he loves rum and whiskey.
Rum?
Oh my God, Stephanie.
Daryl loves rum?
He is a rum junkie.
See, I thought Daryl was like more of a whiskey guy, Scotch guy, you know.
He loves whiskey. He's got a collection of really nice whiskeys. He loves old fashions.
Isn't this weird? He's been my brother-in-law for 26 years now. And I thought he hated rum.
Oh no.
What do I know?
But rum is a mood for him.
Yeah.
And so it has to be.
It's always my mood.
I know.
Seriously.
It's his vacation.
Don't get Daryl and I started on rum.
I know. It's his vacation cocktail of choice is anything with rum.
Me too.
Like if I really want him in a good mood, I'll go, hey, you want to do hurricanes tonight?
Oh God.
So we'll go to
my husband is definitely a rum guy,
so we'll go to Bevmo and we'll buy the hurricane mix and we'll make hurricanes and then we'll sit and he'll be like,
it's gluggable.
Like, mine's gone. I'm like, well, because it tastes like fruit punch.
It's so good.
But anything does. So we bought Pog, which is papaya orange guava juice.
Amazing. And last week's show, we talked about your graduation party.
We had a mimosa bar.
It was fantastic. I had never had Pog. In fact, I think I asked you guys, what is this?
Pog is what they sell in Hawaii. It's a Hawaii thing.
It's so freaking good.
And so we found it at Costco. So we bought 2 gallons of Pog. And so
Very
that was
popular, by the way.
That was the choice.
Everybody was taking it.
Yes, because it's so delicious.
It's delicious.
Creamy, fruity.
And it's sweet. And it goes so good with champagne, especially champagne, because champagne is not, I don't want to say bitter. It's a little dry.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
just a nice combo.
The perfect component.
Yes, component.
I'm drunk on lemonade. Yeah.
Companion. Anyway, so we had a little bit of
accompaniment.
What
I was trying to say.
I've also noticed that people are saying comparable instead of comparable.
What's
happening?
I don't know. We've talked about the misuse of words before.
Everybody's saying, "Oh, this is comparable to," and I'm like, I thought it was comparable.
There's other words that aren't real, like
well, which is the way? Am I saying it wrong? Have I always been saying it wrong?
Well, no, they're 2 different words.
So comparable and comparable are 2 different words.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were the same word, and people were just pronouncing it differently. I've heard more people say comparable lately, and I'm like, has there been a change in society?
I don't know. Lately,
comparable sounds wrong. I thought it was comparable.
Both are separate words.
Okay, I'm gonna have to Google it.
We will have to Google it because I'm like not saying it super confident. I'm pretty sure they are separate words.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up because is this the same thing where we no longer do 2 spaces after the period in sentences? Like has something changed?
Comparable is comp, COMPRABLE. Comparable is compare, COMPARE. ABLE, I think.
Comparable.
All right,
you know what? Homework. We'll do our homework. Then we'll discuss it when we're doing our tasting, our frothed
Like
alcohol.
the word irresponsible. Is irresponsible a word?
Yeah, you're being irresponsible.
I'm trying to think of another word that people say that's not really a word.
Oh, like irregardless?
Irregardless. That was the word I was trying to say.
Yeah, that's not a word.
It's not a word, but people say it. And I was guilty of it for the longest time until I realized it was. I'm like, you sound like a fucking idiot. That's not a real word.
You know what my number one complaint of people who don't say things right?
What?
It makes me immediately question your intelligence.
Seen?
Anyways.
Oh, anyways.
I can't.
Oh,
if you, anyways is not a word.
No,
it's not. You never put an S on the end of anyway.
No.
I don't understand it. When you go anyways, I'm like,
well, so that for you, that's funny. For me, it's people who say seen. I seen this girl.
That's a child.
But
children say
so
that.
many adults say it. I hear it all the time. And it makes me fucking crazy. The smartest people that I have the utmost respect for will say, and I immediately look at them like, you idiots.
You're like, God,
and I can never look at you the same because you just said seen.
And is it one of those things where are we allowed to correct in a future time period? Where you're like, I heard that you said I seen in the meeting.
No.
And I want you to say that's I have seen this or I saw this.
Why? Because I'm already looked at a superior bitch. Like people are like, who the fuck do you think you are? And so for me to say that would be like, yeah, we know you would say that, Karen.
I'd be like, but that's not a Karen thing. I'm
just,
not demanding anything from you.
Karen has morphed into just an entitled white person, specifically a woman, right?
I see.
So you have to be very careful out there.
I will say this. I can't believe we haven't spoken about this. You and I saw Barbie.
Oh, well, we haven't done a show.
I know. We didn't talk about it last week because of the Maui fires. But
right. Oh, that's true. But I completely forgot.
You and I saw Barbie. I saw
Jamie
Barbie
had seen it twice, by the way. I thought you saw it twice.
You're right.
I was the third time.
You were thrice. Which
sucks.
I saw Barbie the day after it came out.
Right. With Daryl.
And then I immediately took my daughter to see it because she had to see
Ken's
it.
or Malia?
Mackenzie.
Okay.
Malia was supposed to come with us, but she had to work.
Okay.
And then I demanded that you and I go see it together.
And I'm so glad
because
you
I
did.
knew you wouldn't go if
I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I was one of those people who didn't know what it was about.
Right.
I mean, obviously I knew it was about Barbie, but I thought it was a silly slapstick comedy.
Everybody did.
Did not
because
have
of the way
a clue.
they were marketing it.
Yeah.
And it was on purpose, for sure.
For sure.
But what I loved about it,
it didn't take but a minute for people to figure it out.
What I loved about the fact that we had just done a show before you and I saw it. We had just done this show about women's empowerment.
Well, you were going through a thing.
I was furious
you
about
were like,
whatever.
Yeah, that entire show was like, this isn't for you. Fuck you, men. If you don't understand it, we don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, wow, calm down.
This is the summer of women, our pink and glitter and glam and all the things. And if you don't like it, it's fine. But this is for you. This isn't for you.
And I couldn't agree with you more now that I've seen it.
So now you saw Barbie, and the very first thing that you said when we left the theater was, this is going to start a revolution.
I said, this is like a revolution. You're like, it has started a revolution.
It has started a
Jamie,
revolution.
in her most serious voice, that's how she responded. She's like, it's already started a revolution.
It's begun. First of all,
dun, dun, dun.
I did a really insane deep dive on Barbie because I was so curious. When did Barbie, who was the first person to say that Barbie was bad for girls?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because that was the whole problem. The thing with Barbie was everybody thought that Barbie was giving girls this weird,
unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. You can't
be perfect, and no one lives a life like that.
Barbie is bad for girls because it gives them unrealistic expectations. It's sexualized. They're supposed to be mothers. They're not supposed to be these independent women that can be doctors.
Oh, for God's sakes.
All this stuff.
Men.
And because of what she looked like, people genuinely believed it was setting the women's liberation movement back.
Well, in the very beginning, I'm not going to say it was setting us back. I don't agree with that. But in the very beginning, when it only represented white blonde women, that I agree with. But Barbie has very much evolved.
So here's what was fascinating. So like I said, I did some research. I was really curious. So when Barbie came out, it was like 1959 or something like that. And, the Saturday Evening Post did an article about Barbie, and I think this was in like 1960, if I'm not mistaken, how bad Barbie was for women.
Of course, it was written by a man, right?
Probably. I couldn't find the article. I really wanted to find it. But they were like, the Saturday Evening Post had they hated Barbie. Whoever, and it was, Saturday Evening Post is it's really all about traditional, Norman Rockwell paintings, it was a very like
classic
homogenized Americana.
Yeah.
And that's what the Saturday Evening Post was for a lot of people. Yep. And looking back now, yes. Interestingly though, feminists hated Barbie. Because of what she looked like. They said, oh, I see. So as long as you look like this.
Perfect and thin and blonde.
And white. And, then you're fine.
And they're not wrong. That's true.
But the thing is that the woman that created it was like, I created this Barbie. I created this doll because my daughter was playing with adult paper dolls and she didn't want to play with her baby dolls anymore. Right. And I thought there's got to be something in between.
Absolutely. And I agree with the premise.
Yes. Well, of course.
And had Barbie, had the Mattel company not morphed into what we see today with Barbie, I probably wouldn't endorse it the way I do. But there's not a Barbie that doesn't look like someone out there.
Exactly. And I was even saying, I'm like, if there's only one company who creates a toy for anyone now, there's only one company that has literally shifted their perspective on the doll. It's Barbie.
Yeah.
The first astronaut Barbie came out in like 1968, which everybody's like, girls can be astronauts too. And everybody's like, okay.
And doctors.
Dr.
Barbie was an early one. Yeah.
Nurses. The first black Barbie was way, way later. Like I think even almost the 80s.
Yeah.
It was a really long time.
But you know what? And I know there's going to be people out there that would argue like, yeah, look how long it took. And look how long it took before we had, Hispanic or Latinas or whatever, all of the things that we have now. It did take a long time.
It did.
But I don't think that should take away from the fact that they did it.
Well, that's the thing. And I mean, even in the movie, there's the wheelchair Barbie.
I loved it.
All those Barbies that are in the movie are real.
I loved it. And
all their houses are real.
I wish I had a little girl now because I swear to God, she'd have a room full of Barbies.
I dug out all of the Barbies that I have from when the girls, we have like 8 Barbies left.
Not many.
And no, but they had them all. But it was funny. I was talking to the girls about it and they're like, like Malia was like, I like the Barbies, but I always got the Barbies that had animals with it. So she had the pooping dog.
Yeah.
The one that's in the movie.
Like Jungle Barbie.
Yes. And the first time I saw Weird Barbie in the movie, I thought of you immediately.
Oh, that's so me,
because
right?
you shaved your dolls' heads constantly. You drew them.
Well, I don't think, I've talked about it now with other girls at work and we all had a version of a Weird Barbie or knew our cousin had a Weird Barbie.
Yes.
We all had one. Or knew someone.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And so they're selling Weird Barbie now.
I love it.
But I'm like, you're taking away the opportunity to make your own Weird Barbie. Because Weird Barbie is better.
I understand. But you also have to realize that the younger generation,
they don't destroy things like we do.
They don't destroy things like we do. And it's not their sole source of entertainment like it was for us. When we were young, we didn't have iPads, computers, all of that stuff.
We had 3 channels.
Yep, and you were lucky if you had 10 toys.
So after
we were poor.
After I saw the movie with my daughter, we were on our way home, and like a lot of us, we cried.
We cried
afterwards. Even
I did.
It was just
a good kind of cry.
It is a good cry because you're seen.
It was, and it was finally not a cry where I was mourning and it was interesting because even when I didn't think I'd cry, I got through most of the movie without crying.
Really,
I thought I would cry like more times than I did.
Yeah,
but mostly I was just like in awe of the movie, and it was a lot to take in, because. It wasn't what I expected.
Yes.
So I was suddenly like,
blown away.
I need to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes.
So when I did get to that point, and we all know what scene that was.
Yes.
I was not crying like ugly crying. It was like tears were falling down my cheeks, but I was smiling.
Yes.
And now I'm going to get emotional talking about it.
Stephanie,
but
it's true.
It was so amazing. Yeah.
Well,
it was the greatest feeling.
When she decided to become real.
Well, a couple times. Yeah, it was more towards the end. It was the speech that what's her name gave.
Oh, America Ferrera's speech. It's on. Okay, first of all, of course, on our Instagram, I posted that speech from the film. It's gotten thousands of views, and I'm like,
love it.
I'm like, I love it, but I mean, it's not my content that you're loving, but I'm glad that you found it, and I'm glad you're sharing it because it's hard to find.
Maybe, yeah.
So I
have been searching for Barbie t-shirts that fit what I want it to say and look like.
What do you want it to say?
I kind of wanted it to be like either "Hey Barbie," like a brilliant pink, like glittery "Hey Barbie" shirt, and that keep it simple.
Yeah.
But all I kept finding was "Come on, Barbie, let's go party."
Oh,
which was stupid, and it wasn't even. I mean, they did make a very small reference to that in the movie.
Did you go to Mattel?
I went everywhere.
Mattel.com has all the Barbie merch. They have all the Barbie movie merch because they have the I'm Knuff and Kenergy.
That I found a million times.
Hilarious.
But I didn't want that one. I didn't want a reference Ken.
But they have some Barbie. They have Barbie merch as well, so you can look there.
Well, I'm not done. I was like, nothing. I even went on Etsy because Etsy's like a place where people make stuff.
Was going to make a Hey Barbie shirt.
Please do an ugly version.
Yes, but,
do it.
Well, here's the problem.
But we're the only ones that wear.
Yeah, but the problem is that Barbie is like Mickey Mouse. It's so protected.
Maybe that's why I can't find anything.
It is, and so unless Mattel makes it, you're not going to find it.
Well, Mattel, get your fucking shit together because
tweet them and say I want a Hey Barbie shirt. And I want it to be pink, and I want it to be glitter.
Because the cute, and I know we're still talking about it, but one of the cutest things of after we saw the movie. Well, first of all, before we saw the movie, we were getting out of our car to go, and there was other girls going, and it was already like. It was kind of like going to a Taylor Swift concert.
It was.
Everybody was wearing some kind of pink and these girls. We were too, but not to the point, like, had I known.
Well, you were more pink than me, but what's funny is we get out of the car and I turn, I'm like, hey, Barbie. And they're all, hey, Barbie.
And they were wearing like glitter, like skirts and pants. It was very, very cute. So already I was like, wow, this is a thing. Okay, wow, trippy.
For me. Yes, because you had no
I had
idea.
not seen it. So then when the movie was over, it was like, oh my God. You know, we were all in the bathroom and everyone was like, hi, Barbie. And it was so genuine.
It's genuine.
Like, yeah. So there's this young girl that sits close to me at work, and I'm just now getting to know her because I told you guys a couple shows ago, I'm in a new position. Yes. Same job, different office.
Sure.
She's 23.
Aww.
She's Latina. She's fantastic. Smart. She's going places in her life. She's got a bachelor's degree. She's going for her master's. Very smart girl. But we are very different generationally and culturally.
She could be your daughter.
Totally. But she's Latina and she has family in Mexico and they go there often. So we're just different, but alike because we're women.
Of course.
She saw Barbie. She loves movies. So she's one of those girls that goes and sees the movie like the day it comes out or the next day right away. She's super excited. So she saw Barbie. I had just seen it, but she had seen it like the week or two before because she saw it right when it came out. And she was saying something about it. She was critiquing it. She's very intelligent. So she's one of those people who will pick apart anything and really think about it. And she did. And she wasn't saying anything bad about it. But at the end of the day, I can't remember how I finally just said, you know what? I know I'm so much older than you. And I have to tell you this. I know there are subtle things about the movie that some people will say they didn't understand or they didn't get it. Even women.
Yeah.
Or they didn't like that much, that part of it or whatever. Not from a political aspect, but just maybe more of an entertainment aspect. I said, I dismissed all of that. If I had anything in my mind that I was like, because at the end, I'm like, it was so empowering to me as a woman.
Yes.
And I have spent my entire life, all 50 years of it, watching women get put down, body shape. I mean, just
everything.
Name it.
Yeah.
The list is endless.
And it still happens
all the time.
All the time.
Every day.
Yeah.
And we don't really talk about that. There's a lot of different movements and things that we need to evolve and do better on, when it comes to racism and, all of that stuff. All important. But I think women are constantly dismissed when it comes to that.
Constantly.
Like, because we had the women's liberal movement in the 60s or whatever. That's all we're allowed to have.
Yeah, that's enough.
That was done.
And now we're going to take it back, by the way.
Yeah, and everybody else is more important than you. And so for me, it was such an aha moment. Like, see? Like, it was so obvious. Like, this is what it's like to be a woman.
Well, like what I said to you, because you're like, gosh, I didn't realize the movie would be so life-changing. I go, it's not life-changing. It's life-affirming.
It's affirming.
Because it affirmed, the way Greta Gerwig wrote this movie was, first of all, the mother-daughter thing, the being a woman, what's important, what's not important, the patriarchy, all of it. And God forbid a woman address patriarchy without being called a man hater, a liberal man hater.
Thank you.
It's like, everybody suffers from the patriarchy. And I thought that Ken's version of the patriarchy proves that men suffer from it too.
Absolutely.
But God forbid, we can't address it because now we're just liberals.
Right.
And everything's got to be dismissed.
No.
And it's like, no, I mean, and I said this, and I don't know, you would have to think about it. I just think of the song, I'm just Ken. Everywhere else I'd be a 10. Right?
Yes.
Okay. If you take
Ryan
that
Gosling,
song,
brilliant,
so good, right?
So good.
If you
that would be a motherfucking hard role to play as a man. I'm sorry.
He said that
he owned it.
He's a girl dad. He has no son. He's a girl dad. He's married to Eva Mendes, and then they have 2 or 3 daughters.
Yeah,
and he said it was not hard. He said,
He did it so well.
He goes, I love women. And Greta even said that it was him or no one.
He was fantastic.
He was amazing.
The casting in that movie was
perfect.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
So good.
So anyway, if you take...
I mean, Will Ferrell, that doesn't seem like that... even though it was... the funny thing about that movie is, as silly as it was very serious, right?
Yeah.
And I never in a million years would have thought Will Ferrell could have pulled that role off. He pulled it off.
He's like, hey, we've had at least 2 women as president in this company, right? That's good.
It was funny.
But no, the song, I'm Just Ken, if you turn that and have a girl sing it, it's the same.
Yeah.
Literally the same. A girl could say, I'm just Kendra. Everywhere else I'd be a 10. Why am I not good enough? Where I see love, he sees a friend. Same.
Okay, yeah.
And when he's talking to her and he goes, I always thought this house would be ours.
Right.
And she's like, oh, what girl, what dumb girl thought that she could change someone to love them?
I would venture to say every woman on this planet has done that.
So to me, I'm like, Ken could be a girl.
Right.
Truly.
Well, I mean, I think that was the idea, right?
Not the patriarchy part, but
no. I think the idea of the movie, and that was the part that I had to figure out, was is the reverse role of Barbie world, what it looks like to women in the man's world.
And a lot of people even said, they're like, the way Barbies were running Barbie world isn't even nearly as bad. They weren't being put down and kept down.
Right.
They were being dismissed. But that's it.
Right.
They weren't treating them like they were morons.
Right.
They were just like, eh. But then the other thing is, the Barbies were so fulfilled, having girls' night every night. They were self-fulfilled. They were happy with their friendships.
I think that's the part we all could relate with.
Why the fuck couldn't the Kens do that? Right. Why were they having such a hard time figuring out how to have boys' night every night and everybody just being happy?
I mean, the reality of it is that there's so many things you could get into with that issue. But I think for me, as a woman, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a mature woman and maybe only mature women could relate with that. But I mean, you and I have talked about if God forbid our husbands got struck by lightning tomorrow or hit by a truck and we were single,
never again.
It's not because we don't love our spouses and that hasn't brought us fulfillment and joy and all of those things it has.
Absolutely.
But it also, when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, yes, God, please transport me here now.
I don't want to be in a Dojo Mojo house. I don't want to live in another one. I don't want to watch The Good Father.
Thank you.
What is this? The movie The Good Father. The Godfather. And it's like, oh, The Godfather? Oh, please sit. Let me. I want to push you around.
But like, I will.
That
was so funny.
Please play the guitar at me for 4 hours.
Oh, but the Barbies, how manipulative they were. Like this, we know how to do this.
Yeah.
So funny.
The whole thing was great. So the movie's good. It is empowering.
It.
And the one thing I did love about it is, which is why I was doing a deep dive on who started this whole Barbie's bad for girls thing.
Yeah.
Was everybody, actually. So the feminists didn't like her because of how she looked. The traditionalists didn't like her because it was giving women ideas. And the thing is that she was literally just to give their daughter something to play with that was
other than a baby doll. Yeah.
And
which we can also understand, right? Because growing up as a girl in the 70s and 80s, that was it.
So here's the thing though, Stephanie.
You were happy to have one that closed its eyes like when you laid it down. That was it. That was literally like the novelty of toys back then for girls.
So our parents never bought me a Barbie. I never, ever got a Barbie. Mom and dad said they weren't educational. So I was given auto parts, telephones to take apart and put together. I got a stuffed animal that I coveted because it was from the World Wildlife Fund.
What was it?
It was a koala bear.
Oh, I remember the koala.
Yes, and I believe there was a 4-pack and we all got one, and I got the koala bear. I think somebody got a monkey. The monkey was really cute, I remember. But anyway, I digress.
Remember.
I never got a Barbie. Never.
Did any of us?
Yes. Paula got a shit ton of Barbies.
Well, I know Paula got everything.
I think you got a Barbie, but I can't remember if you got a Barbie or not.
You and I were often lumped together in the same miserable pool because we were so close in age.
So we were on our way home.
They weren't exhausted enough yet by the time, it was until Allison
they were still,
and
honestly, I think you and I had cloth diapers.
Wait, didn't Paula too?
We had those parents.
What is wrong with them?
Well, okay, first of all, have you ever met a young mother who, first baby, she's like, well, we're going to go all organic. We're doing, we have a cloth diaper service.
Yes, I do.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, I had a friend who ran a daycare. It was her business. And she,
God,
when they
what a
would come
nightmare.
and bring in cloth diapers, she would be like, all right, sure, no problem. The minute those parents walked out the
Pampers.
door, that kid was in fucking Pampers all day.
Because who's going to do that?
She's like, this is ridiculous, and no. And then later, as she got older, she was like, I'm sorry, we have no cloth diaper rule. Fuck off.
Good. See, that's what I would say. Anyway,
well, in the beginning, you want the money however you can get it.
I've known a couple of moms who have been like, yeah, we're doing our all organic. This is the system to change and clean and blah, blah, blah. We're going to use whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. No, I'm a mother of 4 basically. And I completely understand the thought behind all of this process. And if this is your only baby, okay, sure. If you never have another child and you have the energy to do this after you go back to work,
I have so much energy.
By all means. I mean, go for it. Once you have another one, suddenly Huggies are looking real attractive.
Seriously.
Jarred baby foods, boxes of Cheerios.
I can't remember how many times Mom would be like, well, Stephanie, have you thought about making your own baby food? Maybe that's why he's having so many stomach issues. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I sleep like 2 hours a day. You want me to make my own baby food? It's easy. You just steam the vegetables and you put it in the blender.
Oh, is that all?
Well, then why don't you make it and jar it for me and deliver it? And
that's what I'm saying.
Good.
You know what? If you have some suggestions for new moms, why don't you do it? For them.
I'm sorry, because being a new mom is like being in hell.
And then add a toddler to it.
Right.
Or a 5-year-old that has to go to school.
If you have multiple children. For me, I never had to do that, thank God.
Poor pregnant Midge.
But yeah, I mean, honest to God, I was bleeding for 3 weeks after I gave birth to my son and not sleeping ever.
Go ahead. You steam the carrots.
And he screamed, and I was picking out poo pebbles from his butt every day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's like, God, and I'm not alone.
No,
we've all done it.
Very common thing. Anyway, so kudos to the organic mamas who have the energy. I certainly did not.
Well, I don't know how we got on that with Barbie.
Because you and I had cloth diapers. Our mom was, she was a granola eater, and then she got, past it, and she goes, fuck this, Pampers for life.
Right? And I don't know if we talked about it.
I did not have a Barbie. That was my point.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't educational.
Well,
so everything I had to be educational.
That's true.
Okay? So then...
Well, that was a theme that stuck for a while. It wasn't just you.
No, it wasn't. But Paula got all the Barbies. She got everything.
She did. Paula got everything.
She did. She's like Jeff.
Honestly... I don't even know why, because she was so mean.
She was very mean. We called her Popeye.
She was the meanest baby.
Anyway, it's because we just antagonized her constantly.
I don't know that we did.
We did.
Maybe we did.
Oh, we did. So anyway, we were on our way home from the movie with Kenzie, and this is the saddest, pathetic thing, and I really hope this doesn't happen, but I started crying in the car, and I said, I never had my own Barbie. and Kenzie's like, I'm sorry, Mother. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm buying my own fucking Barbie.
Right?
I haven't yet, but I don't know which one to get.
There's so many.
I know.
I mean, I'm going to
go to the store, and there's no freaking Toys R Us.
No, there's no store anymore. God, the Barbie section was the best at Toys R Us.
Freaking Target has a shitty Barbie section.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Maybe it's not anymore.
I bet you now it's huge.
But I'm like, I'll just go online and
can't you go?
Mattel.
I was going to say the Mattel website's got to have every possible Barbie known to mankind.
And then Alex from the salon, her mom got rid of all of her. She had she goes, Jamie, I was a Barbie girl.
Yeah.
She goes, I had my whole decoration in my room when I was growing up was Barbies. I had my play Barbies. And then I had my collector Barbies.
Right.
I had all the holidays.
Ones you don't take out of.
I had the holiday Barbie, birthday Barbies.
Right? My husband's daughter.
Yeah. So she had a wall of them.
She had Barbie World.
So
the third bedroom of their home was Barbie. Everything.
I remember that. Yeah. Oh my God.
And and because her mom ran a daycare, that was her area. She could
nobody was allowed in there.
Invite only, and if you got an invite, you were special.
And you didn't get to touch anything. You could just look at stuff.
Depending on what Jill said, she's like, "No, you can be Skipper, and I am Barbie."
That's right.
And you were
so I was just saying,
she took it very seriously.
I'm like, you know what? I hope that women take Barbie back, and she is used for the reasons that she was invented for, which is to make girls think that they can be anything.
Yes, thank you.
And imagination. And realistically, I was reading an article about Barbie, and she goes, I had a Barbie. She goes, I wasn't very girly. She goes, but you know what Barbie did? Barbie survived trauma.
Yeah.
Barbie was in tsunamis. She was in house fires, car accidents. She had to survive in the woods.
Oh,
that's what my Barbie did. And I'm like, you know what? I think we kind of did that stuff too.
I'm sure we did. Well, I mean,
our Barbies had to go, well, not our Barbies, our sisters' Barbies, they had to go to funerals.
Yes.
They had to go.
God, we were so fucking morbid.
They had to, swim in oceans with sharks.
True.
All the things.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, girls don't play Barbie delicately. People think they don't.
Oh, God, no.
They don't. The girls that brush their hair kindly, when you're not looking, they're hitting the Barbie.
Well,
they're abusing their Barbie.
I mean, I can think of so many things that we've done to I thought we were alone, but I don't think we are. I think everybody does diabolical things to their toys when their parents aren't around.
They're just like, I'm going to braid this.
It's an outlet.
I'm going to cut your beard off.
Especially depending on how old you are. You know what I mean? Like, I think our age was the age where, we've talked about this a lot on the show. Children were seen and not heard. You spoke when you were spoken to.
So you took it out on the toys.
So when you were alone and you got to be whoever you wanted to be.
Like, look at you stupid bitch.
Yeah. I'm going to break your fucking neck. How does that feel?
And you would rip off her head. Be like, oh no, you're headless. Oh,
I can actually remember.
How many Barbies did we have where they had no neck because we broke the...
Well... Yeah,
all of
the
them.
Little bulb thing. Also, and I don't know if the new Barbies are like this now, but when we had Barbies, if we had any,
we played with them. They just weren't mine personal.
Their legs
Barbie.
were like rubber, like gum, like Gumby.
And they had like bendy things,
and so we'd like bend them backwards to be like, break your knee, bitch.
Remember when the ankles would like wobbly because we'd break?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But now I wonder if they're like the hard plastic. Like you can't bend them like that anymore.
I think the cheaper ones are hard plastic, but the nice ones have the rubber legs.
Okay, yeah, because the rubber legs are everything.
Oh God,
yeah,
good times.
I was telling someone, you had reminded me of something, and I apologize if we talked about it on the show already, but you had reminded me that I was born left-handed.
Yes.
I still don't remember this. I've tried.
Oh, you absolutely were.
And that my parents would tie my arm.
No, your teacher.
Oh, my
Our
teacher.
parents never did that.
Oh, she didn't?
No.
Thank God.
Your teacher would do that. She would tie
But Mom allowed it,
with
right?
that yarn.
With yarn. Red yarn.
They would tie red yarn, and they'd tie it down to your desk table so that you couldn't use it, so you had to use your right hand to write in school.
So I told somebody about this, and they were like, you're lying.
No.
That didn't happen.
Yes, it did.
I'm like, I swear, my sister said it happened.
It did.
They're like, you don't remember? I'm like, I don't remember it, but I believe it for some reason because
it was kindergarten. You were so little.
All right, but there's some part of my brain knows it's true, even though I don't really like remember. And
you're ambidextrous. You are.
I guess.
You can do things with two hands.
The funny thing is that my daughter is left-handed.
Yes, she is.
And I thought that was weird.
No, you're
right. Like, you're the only person I know who's left-handed.
You were too.
But then you told me that, and it was so strange. It's still strange for me to think about that.
Back in the day, people thought it was a disability.
Yeah.
And you know how
my husband was like, that absolutely did not happen.
It did happen. I swear. And you know what? You know how I remember? Is because we all had those rubbery... triangular things that you would put on pencils to teach kids how to hold a pencil correctly.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And that's all we had at home. And you even had red triangle pencils.
I remember those.
So that you could learn how, because you had to learn how to hold it because you weren't, your hand.
It wasn't normal for me to hold it in my right hand.
And they were literally training your brain, basically behavioral cognitive therapy, to get you to retrain your brain to use only your right hand. It's dumb.
Well, it is dumb, but I mean, it's just weird to think that
Mom bought you left-handed scissors.
So Mom was probably like,
she hated it. I'm almost
who cares
positive.
if she's left-handed?
Exactly. She'd be like, this is like the dumbest hill to die on. Are you guys serious?
Yeah.
But they wouldn't. And then of course, so soon after, they started going, this is dumb. And they would just buy left-handed scissors for kids.
Make them.
They would do left-handed desks because desks had an
right hand.
Yeah.
They were meant for people who write.
Yeah. So there would be left-handed desks.
Yeah,
they changed everything. And I'm like, yeah, way to go. Way to have my back, Fern. You know?
Leslie.
God. Anyway, so yes, that absolutely happened.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm just wondering if people were born in our...
You were probably one of the last people to have
Probably, because we were always on the cusp of everything.
Yes, always on the cusp of change.
70s and 80s. Well, we were born in the 70s.
We were in school in the 80s.
But we really were in school in the 80s.
It was the 80s for sure. Anyway, okay, so before we close out, I found some shit on Reddit and I thought it was really funny. It's questions.
Okay.
And I haven't even thought of answers for this either. What would be terrifying if it was 10 times bigger than it is?
A penis?
That was my very initial thought.
Yeah, it's already
terrifying.
terrifying.
Why is that initially? I don't know why. I mean, a penis would be terrifying. And somebody goes, ants. And I'm like, well, bugs, yes, that would be terrifying.
We already,
for sure.
or balls. I mean, I think actually balls are way worse than the penis. I mean,
that would be terrifying.
It's funny
How
because...
about eyeballs? That would be terrifying. They'd look like aliens. That would be weird.
I feel like with women, as much as we are sexual creatures and we love sex, and we didn't used to be able to talk about that back in the day, but now we all know it's true. I think we all have a level of, we have to gut the aesthetics of a penis.
You know what? Here's the deal.
I'm
with
not saying
penises.
it's ugly, or I mean, I don't know really know what I'm saying.
Men don't even like the look of their genitalia.
They must like it because they take a lot of pictures of it and send it to people.
Why do they do that?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I received.
Do they not know what it looks like?
I received a dick pic not even that long ago from
your
some.
husband?
No,
You've been married for 26 years.
no. Although he did try to send me one once, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "What?" I go, "You think this arouses me? Why?
No.
What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know. I was just trying something."
It's like having an ugly selfie with your chins. No, don't do it.
So I was like, if you think this is going to entice me to come upstairs, you are sorely
Wrong.
mistaken.
See, that's what I'm saying though. But men honestly think when they're looking, like, look at it.
No, I got a random dick pic from some spammy thing.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Instagram.
who the fuck was sending you a dick
It was on
pic?
Instagram, and I opened it. I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Gross.
I'm like, your dirty socks, your pile of laundry on the floor, your
They
filthy
never think
bed,
about that shit, do they?
your sheet hanging over the window. Like,
They're
what
just
are you
so
doing?
proud of their hard dick. They think you're going to be like, oh my God.
It's like you're in your childhood bed. It's like a twin
It's
bed.
just, I don't care if you were in a spa at the Four Seasons. I wouldn't want to see it.
And why do they always take them in bathrooms
With their because they can see in the mirror
with their toilet?
It's ridiculous.
With the lid up of all things. I'm like, do you have not ad decor of any kind? What are you in prison?
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
I know.
I mean,
Ridiculous.
why? I would love to ask. No one's ever been able to answer it succinctly as to why this occurs.
I don't know, but most men
Dumb.
have done it, and it's not attractive. So stop doing it.
Would you rather be sticky or itchy for the rest of your life?
Oh, for God's sakes!
I had to think about it. I'd go sticky personally.
Would you?
Yes, I can't be itchy, Stephanie. It's just too much.
I don't know if I could be.
When
sticky.
I get a mosquito bite, I'm in hell.
You should see my foot right now. It's blooded. And I mean, I have scratched it to death.
I have scratched a mosquito bite so bad that I've scarred my foot.
I'm pretty sure mine's going to be close to being a scar.
I can't
The one
with
that's
it.
on the top of my foot right now.
Those are the worst.
God, it's just so bad.
That's the one I have a scar from.
Yeah. Well, you'll see mine later. But
Oh my God.
that's a hard one for me because I really hate being sticky.
I hate it too. I hate it too. But
I can't.
I
And
can't
being for the rest of my life.
I can't be itchy for the rest of my life, Stephanie.
Well,
I would be driven insane.
I think I'd be driven insane too.
Yeah, that's
so
like
it'd probably
torture.
have to be sticky.
You have to be sticky.
That's a terrible choice.
I know. And then finally, if you could, would you want to go back in time and meet your ancestors, or go in the future and meet your great grandchildren?
Ooh, God. Well, considering the history of our family, I probably want to go forward. I don't need to know any more assholes than I already know. But I am torn on that.
It's funny because I would want to go forward.
Yeah.
I'd want to meet the relatives that I will never have the opportunity.
How weird
to
would that
meet.
be to see? Yeah.
That'd be cool. Because
see,
I'd be like,
they'd all still look like us, but
I'm your 13th great grandmother.
I know,
and
how
they'd be
weird
like,
would that be?
What?
That'd be crazy.
What would even they look like? I mean, they would definitely still have our features.
Yeah, but the more you
So
marry
crazy.
and like bring somebody else in, the genetics change, and
Of course. But I mean, there'd be a hint of our genetic code.
Always.
Isn't that crazy?
because you like people who have longevity in their family.
Yeah.
And I knew my great grandfather, and you look at pictures of the generation, they all look alike.
I saw a photo. I can show it to you one day. There's a picture of one of I would think she's our 4th or 5th great aunt. And there's a picture of her because it's from the 1800s.
Weird.
She has the same eyes as us. And you know how our eyelids start to droop?
Yeah.
And I guess that's
That's on mom's side.
That's an English, Scottish
Oh,
thing.
okay. All
it's a
right.
very common.
I always thought we had dad's eyes.
Well, the shape, but
Yeah.
but the way the eyelids will start to droop, where you
Yeah.
actually have to get your lids done because
Yeah.
you can't see anymore.
Like mom.
Yes.
Bitch. Only that woman could figure out how to get that paid for through insurance.
And her nose job too.
Thank you. We'll just run into a sliding glass door and,
I have a deviated septum now. I have to have my nose.
I for sure know that The awkward side of us comes from mom.
Oh, for sure.
Because dad doesn't have an awkward bone in his body.
He's very gracious. He's very graceful.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. He's avoided many things.
So
anyway,
weird.
so yeah, it would be cool to go forward.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we agree on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. I was just curious about those.
Yeah.
I do have one awkward moment.
Oh God.
It was the grad party. And so,
again.
yes. So before the grad party, it was 2 days before the grad party, I was cooking and my knife was kind of dull. And so I took the long, those long sharpeny looking sticks. Apparently that you're not sharpening it, you're mooring the knife, which I learned.
Oh.
You have to actually go get your knife sharpened from somewhere.
Well, I did hear that, but
whatever. And so I'm like, I guess I'll moor my knife. I didn't realize that's what I was doing. Anyway, I slipped because this has been a pretty crazy couple of months.
Yeah.
And it's been nonstop. And so it was getting to the hilt of it and I got distracted and I missed and I cut across my pointer finger on my right hand really, really, really deep across the knuckle. And it started spurting blood.
The worst place to, one, it's your right hand.
And they can't stitch it.
No.
So I was like, holy shit.
And knife cuts hurt like a fucking motherfucker.
And I did it with real purpose because I was sharpening.
You are lucky that you didn't.
I thought I was going to cut. I thought I cut my finger in half.
Yeah, that you have to go to the hospital.
Not off, but I thought I got so deep that it was serious.
Well, they could have stitched it if it was that bad.
Well, not on the knuckle. It's pretty. Well, I guess they could have.
I mean, it's never hurts to go to the doctor and see, but I am like you.
So I did it. So I
have to be limbless.
So I put it under the water, and I'm just letting it run so I can clean it off. Luckily, I hadn't cut anything yet, so there was no food or anything on it.
It was fine.
Daryl immediately turns white. And he's like, he grabs his keys and goes, we're going to the ER. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Just hold on a second.
If I can get the bleeding to stop, then we're not going.
If I can get the bleeding to stop within 30 minutes, I don't need to go. I go, but if it keeps bleeding after 30 minutes, that means that I hit something and we have to go.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And so he's calling doctor centers, asking if they do stitches, if they're open, and he's like,
because it's always on like a Sunday night or something.
It was on a weeknight. And we close at 9, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I've got my hand up and I've got a towel around it and I'm just standing there and I'm pushing it really hard and it's killing me. It hurts so bad.
It does hurt.
And I'm like, God, maybe I hit the bone because it hurt. It really hurts.
It was throbbing.
And I couldn't tell if it was bleeding or not. So I'm just holding it.
Because you can't look at it yet.
No, you got to squeeze the shit out of it and you just got to hope and pray.
Coagulate.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there. It stopped bleeding.
Yay.
I take it off and I look at it. And because if I keep my finger straight,
it keeps the wound closed.
It doesn't. Yeah. And I'm like,
if you bend it,
I need to splint it.
Yes.
And so we, Daryl, we're doing everything, whatever.
Hopefully you had the proper tools.
I did. I had all the things. I had gauze. I had
it where we didn't have anything and I was using watered up paper towels and Scotch tape. But
we had all the things. And so we wrap it up and he's like, are you going to be all right? And I'm like, I'm fine. Are you all right? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. So I'm telling you all this because it was a significant cut, but I had to deal with it. So this was on Wednesday and the party was on Sunday.
Yep. I saw the Band-Aid and I think I asked you, I was like, what'd you do to your finger?
I'm like, cut it
the
deep.
Shit out of it. Yeah.
The shit out of it. So anyway, I realized that I'm a terrible patient. Terrible. I'm stubborn. I don't like to be dealt with. I wanted to heal immediately so I could move on with my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have so much food to prep. I do not have time for this.
Yeah, I can't be a gimp right now.
I can't. And Daryl's like, you just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'm like, literally,
it's
you
not
can't
the
do
same.
it. It's not, you can't do it. So
because then it won't be how I want it.
No. So I took everything off the next day and I'm like, oh, look, it's already it's not bleeding. Everything's great.
For like 5 seconds.
So at the party, I had been throughout the week taking off.
Did I eat blood?
No. I've been taking off and putting on this Band-Aid.
That beet soup? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been taking off and putting on this Band-Aid because it was getting in my way and it was really irritating. And so I keep hitting it because that's just the nature of life. Right. When you have an injury, you're going to hit it over and over again.
You do. It's like when you bite the inside of your cheek. Why do you have to bite it 10 times afterwards?
I've got a bite right now inside my cheek.
And you just keep biting it.
At some point during the party, I took off the Band-Aid. Because I'm like, it's annoying me and I'm trying to function.
And it won't bleed, right?
And it wasn't bleeding. It was healing.
Right now.
So I go in and I'm showing some guests the part of the house because they'd never been there. And I'm like, yeah, this is where we keep all of our cleaning parts. They're like, God, it's so organized. I'm like, yeah, because I am the one that organizes this.
Yeah.
I can't show you anything else, but this is my thing that I organize at.
Right.
And so I go to grab something and I hit my knuckle.
Oh, damn it.
On the shelf, and it starts spurting blood everywhere.
Embarrassing.
And I was like, oh shit, now I've got a white dress on. I've got, it's on the floor, and I'm running into the bathroom, which is all white towels. And so I put my hand,
God's sake,
and I'm all, Daryl. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, can you come here for a minute? And I'm doing the high pitched thing. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like,
trying to make it seem like everything's fine.
And I'm like, it busted open. He's like, oh shit. And so there's blood everywhere on the floor, everywhere. And I'm like, just let's quickly do this before anybody goes, hey, what's going on over here?
I know, right? That's the last thing we need.
And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I hated the Band-Aid. He's like, you need to keep it on. Oh my God. And he's like, we're going to have to go to the doctor.
Well, we're not going right now. Get a black towel quickly.
Please. So we dealt with it, but it was like in the middle. There was like 40
Well, that's funny because I never knew that happened.
It was an awkward moment.
I don't know if I was there, but
you were there.
Yeah, I never knew it happened, and I don't think anyone else knew it happened. And, you know, I will say that the crowd you had for graduation was a very chill vibe.
It was chill.
And it was mostly everyone we've known forever. There was like a small handful of your guests that I didn't know well.
Yes. But they were cool.
But they were very cool. And they were good friends with Brad and Prithee.
Yes.
And Brad and Prithee are family.
Yes.
So nobody was there
fine.
that we had to be like super snooty or,
oh God,
you know what I mean? No. Well, I mean, you know.
You never know.
With parties like that, you know, 'cause there's sometimes friends that I don't know that are good friends of your guys' or Kenzie's or whatever.
Yeah.
But that never happened, and it was a great party.
And of course, I immediately overshare. I'm like, oh, I hurt my finger, and they're like, liquid skin, it'll help. You know, and I'm like, liquid skin. They're like, yeah, it's perfect for knuckles. And I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
because
thing. One of burns though.
Does it?
Well, it's liquid, and you put it right on the wound.
I'm not doing it.
So yeah,
well, it's healing now, so I don't.
But yeah, now it's been what, 2 weeks? So
it's been a week,
and a half.
Yes, it's been 2 weeks.
It'll be 2 weeks. No, yeah,
2 weeks,
week and a half, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's it. No awkward moments yet for you, though, huh? Lucky.
I'm so woefully unprepared. You know what? You should text me like the week of the show.
Say, get an awkward moment.
So I start, because I know there are some. Yeah. I'm awkward all the time.
I know.
I wore my Ugly Truth awkward shirt to work.
Oh,
everyone loved it.
So cute. Oh, by the way, I haven't.
And I pointed to it several times. I'm like, hello, have we met?
Just for you, I created a pink V-neck awkward t-shirt.
Oh, I love it. Actually, the shirt itself was, I did like the style of it.
Yes.
Because it was cute. But the V-neck is always cute too.
Yeah. So it's a girl cut t-shirt that's pink and it says awkward in a feminine writing. And I also did a pink awkward coffee mug.
Love.
In feminine writing.
I don't know. I mean, it's because of my Barbie phase I'm going through right now.
Everybody's going through their Barbie phase.
I want it to never end.
And we're all going to be Barbie for Halloween. I've already decided.
Yes. Oh my God. I just have to decide which Barbie I want to be.
I don't know if Daryl's going to be Ken or Alan. I haven't decided because he's both, you know. He'll probably be Ken.
Yes, he should be.
Kenergy.
Oh God, I love it. Are you gonna have a Halloween party? I
don't know. That'd be fun if we had a Barbie.
You've never had one, but it would be really fun. We could have a Barbie
Halloween party,
like a costume party.
That'd be so fun.
It would be fun.
All right, maybe we'll do it.
Actually, my husband would make a good Ken because he's tall and skinny.
He'd be perfect. He could do the all black outfit.
I'd have to figure out what would work for him, but that'd be
so
could pull
fun.
it off.
Oh my God, we'd have a blast. Okay, everybody, thanks for listening. We'll be back with a new show next week. Bye.